Hi, today in this video I'm going to do a short review of the Lockerz tension rod locking device. I bought a pack of these thinking that they would probably help my drums from going out of tune, and I would just check them out. And to a certain extent they do help, so I guess they're technically effective. Let me just show you this one here. Basically, you slip this onto the top of your tension rod, like where you would tune it, and the square tension rod head fits into this rectangular channel right here, and it's supposed to keep it from spinning when you don't want it to. So basically I found that it does work, but it's made out of plastic, and the plastic wears down. As you tune the drum with this on it, it actually wears out this channel because it's metal rubbing on plastic. So I don't believe they're going to last a super long time, especially if I'm changing heads a lot. But they are reasonably effective. So far I haven't noticed any of the lugs that I've used them on go out of tune. So there's that. The other thing that I think is kind of weird, other than the fact that they're plastic, is that they're very thick. So the way you put them on, this bottom rung here goes under the tension rod where the washer is, so it effectively lengthens the distance that it has to go to meet the lug by that amount. So I have one drum that I found that just was not enough distance, so this is what I had to do to make it fit. I had to use my Dremel tool to thin out this one so that it would fit under the lugs as opposed to the massive thickness of this one. And it turns out they do work just fine like this. I'm not sure why they didn't make them thin to begin with. But I'll show you on a drum. So this is what they look like when they're attached to the lug. You can kind of see that it sits right on the hoop, and then this top rung here kind of cradles the square head of the tension rod. And basically this little nub at the bottom here will run into the hoop if it tries to back out while you're playing. So it'll hopefully keep it from coming out. And I think, like I said, I think it does that, but the fact that I had to modify it to get it to fit on some of my drums means that it's not that well designed. Fortunately, they're not that expensive, so I've seen other products that do the same thing that were more expensive. I've also seen products that do sort of the same thing that are made out of metal, so that might be warranted that they're more expensive. Anyway, you could try them if you want. Just make sure that unless you want to cut them down, like this one, that you have adequate amount of tension rod inside of your lug so that you can back it out basically the full thickness of one of these little arms here and still get your tension rod in the lug to be able to tune, because that's not always the case.